But look, it's not just Christian conservatives and everyday parents who are trying to protect kids. It's also members of the LGBTQ community who are trying to stand up to the more radical elements in that movement and in the Democrat Party. In fact, a while back, I remember seeing there was a great guest on Jesse Waters' show and represented a group called Gays Against Groomers. And we've now got Mario Presents on the show with us here on Montana Talks. In fact, our friend Tim Adams said, hey, I don't know all the ins and outs of this legislation, but we've got Mario from Gays Against Groomers who can tell you all about it. So thanks to Tim for linking us up with Mario. Mario, great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for having me.
Was my intro, was that a good summary there? What would you change? What would you add?
No, it was perfect. It's exactly what we're doing. It's a great introduction. Gays Against Groomers is a grassroots organization dedicated to helping parents across the country fight this scourge of indoctrination that's happening everywhere. I live in California. I'm hearing reports of it happening as far as Florida, Michigan, New Hampshire. Everywhere I turn, there is a parent in a school district saying, help me, they're trying to trans my kids and they're not letting me be involved. And if I try to say anything, they're going to take my child away. That is what Gays Against Groomers is trying to fight. We're trying to fight this monstrous, big pharma, big corporate that's trying to literally sterilize a generation of children. And I wrote a blog recently that's going to be released in a few weeks about the historical context of our fight, because Thailand has the #2 highest number of transgender population in the entire world. They have 13 years of legislation ahead of us protecting people under the age of 18. And if you're 18 to 20 years old, you can't even start hormones without the support of your family. After 21, you can go ahead and do that without the consent of your family, but you're going to have a mental evaluation, you're going to have an endocrine evaluation, and you're going to have continuing therapy. This is what we're seeing with Tavistock and with Sweden and all these other countries that are backtracking this transgender care. They were lacking the long-term studies to follow these people, and we're seeing detransitioners, regret, and to stop that, they're basically trying to pull back the reins on the direction they were going, and we're just trying to wake up Americans to say, hi, we don't want to go down the track of Britain and Sweden where they have to backtrack their things. We would rather take the track of Thailand, who from the onset of this entire issue, they put children at the forefront, and they protected anyone under the age of 18 from receiving any of these procedures.
Yeah, and it's almost like this viral popular trend now is to think that you're really the other gender, and for little kids to think, especially among young girls in particular, given the body image issues that they face at such a young age, especially while going through puberty. But here's how I kind of look at it. We've got a legislator from Missoula, Montana, biological male who actually went through the surgery and everything and identifies as female. And my thing is like, hey, you do you. You know, Montanans, we're pretty libertarian. You live your life, I'll live mine. I got my beliefs, you got yours. Don't hate you because you have a different viewpoint. Might disagree with you, but it doesn't mean I hate you. But that person is an adult. They get to decide if they want to permanently change their life and remove body parts, right? As shocking as that may be to some. But these little kids, they needed to be protected from that. And parents are being intimidated into thinking that, well, you better do this or else.
Absolutely. One of our detransitioner voices, these are people who tried the transition lifestyle, they tried the other side, and they decided, nope, not for me, I want to go back to what I was. And one of the most important voices in our movement is Chloe Cole. She works very closely with the organization Gays Against Groomers, and she goes out and speaks at legislature, school boards, city council meetings, kind of like what we're doing, basically saying, hi, I was one of those 13-year-old kids who was coerced, influenced by the social media at 13. By 15, she had a double mastectomy. We have the left saying, they're not doing these procedures on children. That's a lie. Well, I've got living proof right here in this individual. And she's saying now, at 18 years old, I regret removing my breasts. I regret having that double mastectomy. I'm having health issues. I can never go back to the girl I was. And she's trying to tell people sunshine and rainbows isn't all trans. Trans isn't all just this lollipops and happy days. There is stress. There is sacrifice. There could be complications, and we at Gays Against Groomers just want to bring the facts to light. It's not glamorous to want to change part of your body. It's an extreme body modification. We don't allow children to get tattoos. We don't allow children to pierce themselves. We don't allow children to drink or smoke or really make major medical decisions because they cannot understand consent, and especially they cannot understand informed consent. The WPAS doctors, the ones who are pushing this transgender stuff, they even admitted that diabetic teenagers are extremely resistant to helpful health information because they have this idea that they're going to live forever. I don't care. So these kids are going with the idea that I don't care, I'm going to be sterilized, I'm happy in the moment. And our medicine is following this idea that as long as children are happy in the moment, we're doing a good job, which is not the case.
Yeah, and we also don't allow parents to harm their kids. We don't allow child abuse. Child abuse is against the law. So this argument that well the parents have the right to chop off the breasts of their daughter or to chop off what further down of their sons. We have laws that protect kids for this very reason, but yet oddly enough, some of these very same left-wing doctors that tried to force the jab on everybody are saying, oh, no, this is a parents' rights issue. Give me a break.
Right, and if you really want to take it to a parents' rights issue, then push the envelope. Say, all right, well, if it's the parent's choice, can a parent choose to cut off a part of a child, a female part of a child, because their religion says so? We know that's happening in this country. We know that it's abhorrent to do, but if you really want to take it there, this is exactly what they're doing. They're extremely modifying their children, and not to bring people down. We kind of have taken the approach that they are literally transing the gay away. It's much easier socially, and I am a Hispanic man. I know what it's like. My own family would much prefer having a little feminine daughter who likes boys than having a gay man who also likes boys and happens to be a little more feminine. And in a way, they are really erasing the homosexual person, because that young girl who likes to play rough, who really likes to cut her hair short, she really is super, super masculine. Well, it would bring less shame to the family if she was just a boy. She could just live her life as a boy, and no one would ever know. So that's really a sad fact that we're coming to realization that society is literally trying to erase the homosexual by trying to turn them into trans and saying, it's not okay for you to be a sissy boy.
That's very interesting. And then in a similar regard, they're also saying, well, that little girl, because she likes sports, well, she's obviously got to be gay or she's got to be trans. And it's like, no. So, all kids are unique and all kids are different and they have different interests. And, a little boy may be a good singer and want to be in the choir. That is not feminine. Mario presents Gays Against Groomers. We got to get you back on the show again one of these days. This has been great to get your insight. 20 seconds to go. How important is SB 99 from your perspective in Montana?
SB 99 is extremely important. It follows on the heels of lots of historical legislation that's coming down the pipeline. We need to protect our children. We need to protect the future. We need to stop transing gay children. We need to stop transing straight children. We need to stop transing all children. And if you want to get involved, join Gays Against Groomers at www.gaysagainstgroomers.com.
All right, Mario Presents. Great to have you on the show. Great to chat with you. Enjoyed seeing you on Jesse Waters' show. Thanks to our friend Tim Adams for linking us up this morning. Phone lines are open for you, 294-0970.